Good morning. Today we're super excited to have on our TNT session Andy Tuttle. He is a mortgage lender and he is with Fairway Mortgage, and he's here to talk about the sales funnel. And we're super excited to hear about that. And if you didn't know, he's also a radio talk show host and a TV talk show host. So it's kind of a big deal. So stay tuned.
Intro music. I'll give you an intro. Good morning, 8:45 on a beautiful Monday. The weather this weekend was amazing, and today I have an amazing guest. All right, so we have some applause here today. Andy is joining us, and Andy is, were you the founder of DFW Mastermind?
Co-founder with Zach
Co-founder.
Sams. Well, really, I did the heavy lifting. Let's be honest. It's Zach. Everybody knows.
All right, so that's pretty good. Just kind of like myself, I'm co-founder of Acquisto Real Estate, and my wife does the real stuff. So that's interesting. So Andy is here to talk with us today, and I'm really, really happy that he's here today. He has a lot of knowledge, and so if you as an agent can just sit back and kind of get comfortable a little bit and listen, what we're going to talk about is something a little bit different, and we're going to kind of try to shift your mindset. So the introduction to set Andy up, and then he's going to get to take charge, is going to be about the sales cycle versus the sales funnel. Mm-hmm. So if we're to take a look, and I'm going to pull up the whiteboard on the screen, and we'll see if Andy wants to utilize this. It's totally fine. On the computer, it's a little bit different. It's not perfect, but I'm pulling the whiteboard up, and Andy can totally use that. And while we're talking through here, what I want to have him to show is the sales cycle versus the sales funnel. And we currently, when we think about this, we talk a lot about the sales funnel and how that works. That at the top, you have a lot of people that come in, and at the bottom, you have clients that come out and close sales, and there's things we do along the way. Andy has a mind shift.
Yes.
Yes. So look into the camera, utilize the mouse. You can do as you desire. You're going to have some things here that you can edit with, and you can use this or not, and just tell us.
Well, I can't draw any worse than I do on a whiteboard, an actual one, so this is going to be great.
Okay.
First, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah. And all of us were taught about sales funnels. I mean, my whole career, I've been doing sales for 25 years, and always was taught the sales funnel. But really, in the market that we're in now, where everybody can have information at any point and a lot of it for free, we do need to rethink. And so if you look at the big changes that have happened just in digital media and regular terrestrial media like television and radio, even that now has made a shift. The more effective ads are more going to interruption marketing and then immediately getting someone into a permission marketing system. And so that's really the difference between a funnel and a cycle. And I will try to draw that. But the funnel just says, you got all these contacts, right? And then as you get them deeper in the funnel, they get more and more committed and they come out as clients. Yes?
All right. So let me drop something on you. So here's a knowledge bomb. Yeah. So don't be too alarmed there. But what we do is we don't have any leads, and we don't like leads because no one wants to call leads all day. Mm-hmm. But we have friends because people like to talk on the phone and they like to make new friends.
Right.
So if I said, hey, you're going to have to talk on the phone today with 100 new friends.
Right.
Well, that's not so bad. But you're going to have to call 100 leads. So we just kind of
semantically change that. That's great. That's great for the mind. Totally agree with that.
Yep. So that's just one minor thing. So let's go through this.
So we would say is they start as strangers, and your goal is to get them to acquaintances and then to friends, and then the deep friends, relationships that are raving fans and refer you. Yeah. Either way, that's a great shift. And with everybody having a billion friends on Facebook, you could really say calling friends. But with the sales cycle, the wheel, it's similar. So the approach is that if to take your friends' words, there's different levels of friends. Yeah.
Correct.
So there's different levels of trust with those friends.
Agreed.
So if you think about this with your word friends, the sales cycle or the wheel really is perfect. Because when you're in the beginning of let's try it.
Yeah.
When you're in the beginning of a relationship, you're on the outside of the wheel. Oh God, that's actually not horrible.
Okay.
So
It's also not good.
It's not good.
Okay, that's fine.
It's like my 5-year-old.
That's fine.
So the wheel on the outside is the lowest barrier of entry offering that you need to have. So this is the free offering, the what Michael Port calls the always have something to invite people to offering. So whether that's a show like this for your internal people, or a show outside, that you have a free offering that educates the public and builds trust, right?
So tell us about, you can talk specifically, we're in the industry, we know what's going on. So tell us about you and what you like to do here. Then you and I maybe offline can talk about, hey, how I could take what you're doing and take that time to discuss how we can internalize it. So maybe if you personalized it with some things you do that you know really well, then we can learn from that.
Perfect. So there's a few things that we do. One, we have a TV show for the top agents that goes out to the market. That is a free offering, right? That they can go get education, build trust, see if they like you. We have 500 views or 500 videos on YouTube, right? Those are free offerings. It's just content marketing. So typically that's going to be either a conference call you do or a podcast or a radio show or some kind of educational thing. So for us, it's radio show, it's podcast, it's TV show, it's videos, it's all kinds of different offerings, right? So the idea is that we educate for free, have something to invite them to where they can learn more about you. And then as you build trust, then you make a deeper offering. So for some, when you see it in the event world, come on, baby, I can do this.
This looks like a sales funnel from above. It looks like I'm looking at the sales funnel just from the top down.
Yes, that's true. That's right. It's a cyclone. It's going to. No, we want to make it more positive than that.
All right, that's fine.
But then you get them on a deeper level of relationship. So if you start there, then you make an offering. So that can be to an ebook, something where now you can get information. So maybe for us, we have 3 different main ebooks that we offer on how to buy right. If you're a first-time home buyer, millennial, if you're a move-up buyer, or if you're a veteran. So it's a 10-page, real short, big words. I mean, like it's pictures and stuff, but it's something tangible that they can have. So we have a free offer.
Downloadable.
It's downloadable, but now we get their information, right? So you get the level of, based on the level of trust you have, you're going to get that level of information. So we can't ask for everything there, right? We want to ask for just a few things: name, email, phone number, right? Boom. So we do that. They get the ebook. Then that puts them into a drip campaign. It is a week-long initially, and then it ties them into another one. But the week-long one's important because from that, now we're dripping on a video from every day about their purchase experience, specifically catered to millennial right now, move-up buyer, or VA. So to get specific, that's what happens. Then those people there raise their hand because in the 3rd email, we say, hey, surprise offer. We do have a home buyer webinar. It used to be monthly. Now it's once a week and I'm not on it. By the way, it's recorded, but because people forget after a month, they just, what was that 3 weeks ago I signed up for? They just don't get it. So now it's every week, right?
So now we have a smaller circle, because they're opting into
now the webinar.
Okay, so this is webinar level.
This is webinar level. So doesn't matter what it is, for us, it's a webinar. So it's a deeper level of trust. Now they're on a webinar where they can ask questions, and if I do it live for them, I'm answering them. Either way, my team is always answering those questions on the webinar, and this is a buying webinar. Go ahead.
Is it pre-recorded or live?
I have multiple pre-recorded ones, but I also do it live. I try to do one live every month now because that way I'm getting fresh content in there, fresh angles. But what's powerful about it is you don't have to be there. I don't have the time to do one every week. Most of you don't have the time to do it every week. But with the pre-recorded, especially through Zoom, if you use that, you can get the Zoom webinar and it's pre-recorded in there, and then you can have someone just man the chat box, right? And then they get their questions answered right there, so it feels live to them. And so at that point, what's great is from there, they're really getting engagement with you and your team, getting questions answered, so they're deeper connected. And then from there, if they like that, that's when you go, well, there's 2 things that happen. One, now these do happen simultaneously, but it's still, oh, wow.
All right, there you go.
This is the important stuff because it's blue.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened, but it's very powerful. So they get invited to 2 things. They get invited to a private Facebook group that is just for them and our partners, where they can engage and ask questions. Think next door, right? So they have questions like that, but they also have mortgage questions, and it's a forum. They talk to each other. And then every once in a while, like we have one small post, we have actually 4 posts a week that come from different partners, and it's all articles. There's no self-promotion. For us, it's just, hey, here's education, here's a little bit of education, here's a little bit of education. When they have questions, we engage. And then at the same time, they get an invitation to have a phone call with us.
Okay.
And because that's where you want to go. Because when you get there, you get the appointment down there into your normal sales process. And so I think a lot of us, there's 4 quadrants of a business, right? There's marketing, sales, customer service, and client retention. Those would be the 4 quadrants that fit into us. Most of us spend all our time in the sales quadrant because we don't know how to market, and then we've got to go do a ton of selling. But if you market right, your sales job becomes very systematic. You do it right, you do professional, and it makes it a lot easier to do that because you've done the hard part up front. And so the sales cycle really just builds trust. It helps them feel comfortable with your platform. Like, yeah, I can stand on that with you. And as you grow them through this process, by the time they get on the other end, there's high trust. They're not on price, they're on value. And it makes the job for you and the team so much easier. They definitely are friends by now. They've seen your videos, they've talked to you, or felt like they have. They've gotten your material, and they are in. And I think that's the biggest power.
Okay. Wow. All right. So talk to me about which demographic seems to like this approach the best, because you said you had a couple very specific campaigns targeted right now.
Yeah. So the VA, the move up, and the millennial.
Yes.
The millennial ones right now are the most active here, which is predictable.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Because they are more in that space. The second one is actually veterans, right? Because that's not necessarily an age demographic, right? It's just targeted to their need. And so we do have some younger military people, but our average military person that attends this is 35 to 50. So they are really more engaged there in that demographic than we thought.
Okay.
But yeah, most of the biggest ones that we are getting are millennial. Usually young professionals, double 2 household incomes between the ages of 26 and 35.
Okay. Well, all right. Yeah, that's really good info. And there's so much more that we can and should be talking about here on this. And so a little bit more background. I don't think I even introduced this correctly, but Andy, you're a lender.
Correct. Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Sure.
Andy, please.
Sure. Yeah. So I own a branch of a mortgage company, a Fairway Mortgage, huge $25 billion company, mortgage banker, and I own a branch of that, right?
Did you just say you're worth $25 billion?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That's a total lie. They are worth 20. They do $25 billion in business. Okay. I definitely do not. But they are a national lender. I'm licensed in multiple states, but our focus is really hyper local, man. Been doing mortgage 18 years. My mom was a realtor for 33 years. She just retired last year, actually. So shocking, when I got in this business, she was complaining about lenders. So I was like, sure, I'll serve that need. That sounds great. And that's what we've been doing ever since. But yeah, this is designed. So what we do, yes, we close loans moving on time and all that fun stuff and have all the products, et cetera. But our big passion outside of helping the client get great advice so that they're set up for success. I think you went through the financial crisis too, right? You were in the business.
Yeah. No, we've been around through that.
Yeah. And me too. Really seeing the value of, man, just not trying to get the transaction, but make sure we do right by the client. Because when you build that kind of trust, when stuff does hit the fan again, because cyclically, economically, it's going to happen, they're going to come to those that they were like gave them the right advice, no matter the cost, early and often, and that's what we want to do. But anyway, but for the realtor piece, outside of giving the clients great advice and a great experience, we love helping realtors grow. That's when we do the mastermind. That's when we brought the TV show here. That's when we teach on this type of stuff and networking and how to just grow a business and lead a team and make sure you're running profitability. That's what we get really excited about.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. And you talk about trying to give the right things to your clients and really, care and lean into there a little bit. That was a mind shift that Shauna and I had. And I can't pinpoint an exact date because it feels like it just recently happened, but it hasn't. It's probably been about 5 years. And we stopped worrying about us. And we finally got to a point where we were totally fine business-wise. And we got through the crisis. We got through all that stuff. And we stopped worrying about us and our personal income. And we started to really be concerned with the client and do everything right for them. And when you did everything right for them, a weird total paradigm shift happened that now you get way more referrals, you get way more repeat business. They can feel how much you care about that. You stop worrying about you and you focus on them. And then all of a sudden your income goes up dramatically. You have to get to a point where you're comfortable enough to be able to do that financially. But once that mind shift happens and the client sees it, I really think they can feel it. And that's when our business, took dramatic steps and we were ready for the next things.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a huge paradigm shift for us today.
Well, I sure hope so. Look at that beautiful drawing. I mean, take a picture of that, guys. Put that in your phone.
No, so this would be it would be really nice. We're consistently looking for better ways to understand, and you're bringing something here. And we'll talk offline about this. So we're just about done on time, but we need to continue this discussion and share and show, and probably sign up and go through the process once ourselves with you to understand that. But this, how long have you been utilizing this?
Well, permission marketing for a few years. This specific permutation, adding the webinar and some of these other components, about 7 months.
Okay, and you feel good about it?
Yeah. So if you just want some metrics on the results,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, sure. So 7 months ago, because what is it? It's almost May, right?
Okay. Yes.
So, a little, almost 7 months. So if you take the initial investment in building out the ebooks, which was the biggest cost, actually, that was a few $1,000s to get all of that set up. I did it for free forever. But to build out this as we did, I built a few ebooks and built out the process and made sure I had all the technology working together. So, and then the ad spend on top, probably 10 grand all in 7 months. We just started seeing closings from this about 90 days ago, right? Because it takes a little bit to get some traction.
We understand that.
Yeah. And so we've had a little over 2 million in closings now in the last 3 months from this. So on our side as a branch owner, we set ours try to be competitive, but where you guys get 3, we probably get closer to 2.5, right? All in on that. And so if you look at, so let's call it 50,000 top line, for a 10,000 spend. So in 7 months, 5x is a good return on something like this. That doesn't take a ton of time for me. It doesn't take really any time, right? After the initial setup, there's maybe an hour a month that I spend on this. So the time value of money is huge there.
Okay. And that's an important item to understand too. So Andy runs a business just like we do, and the margin, sometimes you think like the business owner, oh, he's got this great thing and he's making 200,000 a year off of this one item, right? You have to understand how long things take to come to fruition, how much you have to plan for it, how much you have to let it work. You have to let it breathe. You have to modify, you have to refine it. And there's a lot that goes into it. And as you continue to make small tweaks, then all of a sudden the things start to work out. About a similar timeline for us that we've had is we got into opening up our relocation division. And that has been very, very good for us. So we had to make a mind shift there and say, we need to get into this. So we started on that. And now we've seen all of our first closings start to come through, and they're just trickling through. And it's amazing how much you can build up when you devote time, energy, and effort to a concept. So I'm glad to see it successful. I hope that we can learn a little bit, share a little bit more offline, and move towards better success for each of us. So thanks a lot for showing up. Which sound would you like? Would you like, you can,
Oh, this is
like my send-off sound? Yeah, this is your getting out of here.
Well, I'm a drummer, so I'll do the drum roll. 10 seconds here. Just remember, this doesn't have to be with webinars and anything spent. Permission marketing is a mindset. Instead of trying to interrupt people and think about it like that and get them to commit, what can you do to offer value commiserate with what you're requesting and build on that? And you just build a huge list of people that are at different levels of trust with you that just start falling into the deeper levels over time. It is a long game play that has some short tail value.
Okay.
Boom. Done.
I like that. That's really good. That's your drum roll. All right. So Andy is done for the day. Thank you guys very much for joining us. This is all be available online afterwards, and we're pretty much done here. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Mike.